Pelicans lose again in a blowout, but they get a little help in the standings.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth out.
The Pro Pills Talk. Wait.
You was muted. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Welcome to another episode of Pro Pills Talk. I am here subbing in for Coach Justin Napoli. Out here in deep in the state quarterfinals here. Yeah, man. Look, Chaz, myself, I think 5 is coming. This show ain't gonna be very long here. Pelicans lose 146-117. As always, this program is brought to you by Scott Vigneer Injury Lawyers. Have you ever been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, hurt offshore? Scott Vigneer handles it all. Give him a call, y'all, 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, free consultation where they always fight for the win. Chat, as always, man, we're gonna start y'all comments, get to as many questions as possible. Maybe y'all got 30 minutes. Yeah, man, we gonna talk a little standings talk as the Hornets won today. In a game that came down to the last possession against Brooklyn. And yeah, man. First off, Chaz, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm just blessed and highly favored, man. How about yourself, bro? How about yourself?
Good, man. Just came back from the city, man. First little Mardi Gras in about 8 years. So
damn.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I'm saying that if I went back next year, it would be my first in about 8-9 years. So
there you go.
Yeah, I was damn time flying,
bro.
Man,
for real,
bro. 2000, I think the world ended in 2019, bro, and we probably all just like dead right now, honestly. Like,
bro. All my traveling rhythm changed, bro. Like everything different.
I don't remember how the world was, bro. I don't even remember how shit used to be.
I remember how the Pelicans used to be, and ain't much changed since.
Yeah, not much at all. It's funny you said that. I was to get into the game, I was watching this team today, and I was like, is this team better than like those bad Hornets teams? I had to remind myself about the injuries and stuff like that, and guys who are like out for the season. So yeah, you still got some top end talent on the roster, undoubtedly. But man, when it just comes to the surrounding pieces and the coaching staff, it's just this is really a bottom tier organization. Like it just looks terrible out there.
So this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk with you about, Chaz. Shout out to Grub. Grub sent me a stat on Willie Green, because part of what we could be looking at, like, I don't think this team is this bad. Any night can be a blowout bad, right? I mean, I think that they are missing some NBA talent. Jamal Cain getting 8 minutes, Robinson Earl getting 21 minutes, Carlos still trying to find his way. Like, your first two subs off the bench are Jordan Hawkins and Jose Alvarado. So not to say that at least in Jose's case, Jose hasn't earned his keep as a respectable player, but when those two are your first guys in this league, where the Rockets are bringing off Jabari Smith, you know what I mean? It's a different in talent, a different, a gap in talent. But Willie Green, right? So the stat is the Pelicans have 4 30-point losses this season. That's as many as they had in the previous 3 seasons combined. Willie Green has 31 losses by at least 20 points as a head coach. In the 4 seasons before he became the head coach, the Pelicans had 5 total 30-point losses and 18 total 20-point losses. So we're talking 7 30-point losses, which is more than Gentry and Van Gundy combined. 32 20-point losses, which is 14 more than the 18 that Gentry and SVG had. And the Pelicans still have 18 games left to go. I know we have destroyed the coaching argument into the ground, but I feel like we could go a little bit further. That's reading those numbers. even if you try to be subjective about it, Doug, how do you lose that bad by those amount of numbers, even with all things considered?
You look at teams who didn't start the season with nearly as much talent as the Pelicans did. I know DeJounte went down early, but there was a period in time where the only player you were missing was Brandon Ingram, like for a good period of time. So I think truthfully, it really just boils down to the staff being really bad. As much as I harp on the lack of talent, the effort just isn't there a lot of the times. These guys aren't being maximized. It's not like they're generating all these incredible open looks and we just don't have the guys to knock down the shots. It's just like you're not generating any easy baskets. You're not generating many open looks. Defensively, you just took a nosedive into the rankings. If I would be shocked if they still weren't like in the bottom 5 defensively. I watched a lot of Hornets basketball, probably more than I should. And that's a team that they're competitive every night for the most part. Even last night against the Cavs, really crazy game, came down to a bucket or two at the end of the game. You see them play some high-end opponents with all of the injuries they have, and they're still entertaining, they're still competitive, and I think that's a credit to Charles Lee. And I just think when you have truthfully, I just think the players don't believe in Willie Green, man. Those guys are out there. They just look defeated a lot of the time. And the Pelicans are a front-running team. They'll get out to a sizable lead. As soon as the other team starts punching back, they realize, all right, the show is over now. Let's curl up into the corner and try to use the jab and see what we can do. Try to survive.
Shout out to Tennessee, man. Firing this whole staff would be like adding an all-star player, man. Look, I look at. Did you watch the Portland OKC game in detail yesterday?
No, I did not.
Doug, nobody played for OKC. Nobody. We talking Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins were their best 2 players a good majority of the night, and they beat Portland. No, I don't think Chet played that game. No SGA. But they went out there and they won another basketball game. Now, listen, they can be in a situation where they are front running. They can be in a situation where guys are playing above their level right now. They're one of the best teams in the NBA right now, of course. But we talked about Orlando early in the year when they were still fighting, still playing decent basketball.
Yep.
Right before somehow Paolo came back and everything just went back to hell.
Suggs left.
Yeah.
That's how you know who the heart of the team is. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I mean, they were winning games and in games that they weren't supposed to be competing in, man. It's just, it says a lot, man. But hey, I know. Look, man, Justin ain't here right now. We got a good coach on our team, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring back some championship goal. And not only do we have that, we have Lala. Lala's son is also fighting for championship gold, man. We
got good stock in this arena.
Some good basketball genes that come out of the Propels Talk family, man. The Buku Media family. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's talk the Hornets here, man. The Hornets beat the Nets. I think right now, if we have the standings, where is this at? So the standings have the Hornets at 15-48. The Pelicans are 17-47. So they're 1 game back in the loss column. I believe if this is updated for the Pelicans, the Hornets and the Jazz are tied right now at 15-48. The Jazz, but I mean, you can forget about that. I mean, the Jazz have mastered the art of. It's over with. The Wizards and the Jazz seem to have that number 1 and number 2 spot locked up as far as I'm concerned. So it seems like the Pelicans and the Hornets will determine who gets 3 or 4. I know you've talked about how important it is to get into that top 3, and I would agree. I mean, we know it's still a lottery; anything can happen. But with everything that you just said about the Hornets, the rest of this schedule, the way that it's set up, Pelicans got a back-to-back tomorrow, right? They play Memphis. Yep. More than likely, no Zion. You can count that for a loss. And not only did the Hornets win tonight, but they almost beat Cleveland yesterday. So like, do you feel like even if you're 2 games behind them or a game and a half behind them, do you feel confident about your chances to catch them in the tank race? Which is crazy. Like but that's what you're doing.
They're see the difference between the Pelicans and the Hornets is crazy. That's 2 different teams now. But the difference between the Pelicans and the Hornets is that the Hornets kind of have shown me this season they can kind of beat anybody on any given night because a lot of the games come down to the clutch and something weird happens or something weird happens and the game ends. I think that's what great coaching, really good coaching Charles Lee is. Shout out to 5. What up, 5? A guy like Charles Lee showing his value. Truthfully, I don't think the top 3 matters anymore, bro. I don't think nothing even matters no more, dog. I say that because for one, ideally getting 14% instead of 12% is ideal. But truthfully, I think after it's starting to look like after number 1. After number 1, this draft is becoming very debatable. With guys like Trey Johnson, VJ Edgecombe, you got arguments about Ace Bailey, Fears, a couple guys. Like there's some people who on my list mentally that I'm like, nah, I don't want that guy just because of like what I think the team would need. But I'm at the point where if you don't get Cooper Flag, the rest doesn't really matter. Because the team is just so far away, realistically. And that's what I meant earlier when I was comparing them to the Hornets of the past. I was like, I can't really look at this team and tell myself that if they get Harper or VJ Edgecombe, that everything going to be all right. It's like, I need to know what you're doing with CJ. I need to know what you're doing at the center position. I need to know this, and this. But to answer your question, I don't think they catch Charlotte. Best case scenario is that they tie with Charlotte, and as it stands, Charlotte owns the tiebreaker because Charlotte beat the shit out of them by like 30 points.
Right. I think they split, right? The Pelicans won.
I don't think the Pelicans beat them yet. The Pelicans played them one more time this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Did they?
Yeah, they played them toward the end of the season. Hopefully, there's no Zion at that point. Like,
5, man. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
What's poppin', man? Yeah, man. It was my it's 2.5's birthday, so we had to celebrate that.
Happy birthday, little 5.
Yeah, dog. Dude was wilding. Throwing cake, throwing ice cream everywhere. Shit was crazy. Nah, man. What y'all was talking about? Pelicans getting top pick percentages. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah. I mean, so currently right now, I think the Pelicans are about a game and a half or 2 games back of Charlotte. And then outside of that, I mean, I kind of chalk up Utah and Washington. Utah mastered this thing, and Washington got 5 games. I think you would have to make up in ground. That's not gonna happen. So it's really pretty much Charlotte and New Orleans fighting for 3 or 4, and then
we 1.5 behind Charlotte.
Yeah, okay.
See, that's the thing. I always said, like, as long as you were like in the realm of it, right, in close proximity, difference between 14% and 12.5, like I think that right, 12.5. I think
12.5.
So, all right, bro, just being like, don't lose 4th. Don't be dumb enough to lose because the Pelicans are just that stupid to do it. Like, just be in the range where you need to be because again, when you got Zion, you weren't supposed to get that pick. I'm still assuming the teams that lose the most still aren't guaranteed that they're going to get the number 1. It just doesn't happen. It's not likely. So just give yourself a fighting chance. That way you can be in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes because he's the only one I think that's gives you at least some kind of foundation. Like he can come in and play immediately. And you don't necessarily have to worry about what you do with other people for him to be successful, at least a little bit, right? I still want to know who the coach is. I still want to know who on the staff. I still want to know who the GM is. Yeah. But understanding at least you got Cooper for the next possibly 7 years, let you breathe a little bit.
5. Let me ask you a question here pertaining to the Rockets here. As Houston beats the Pelicans again. This time, from the opening possession, it was clear that the Rockets was like, we're not wasting our time tonight with this, which good teams are supposed to do, take care of bad basketball teams. There's somebody sitting at home. It's no one here, but there's somebody sitting at home that are watching Houston and saying, why can't the Pelicans be that? What do you think of some of the things that New Orleans as an organization or as an infrastructure can learn from what Houston is doing right now and their path going forward?
I think it starts with ownership, truthfully. I think their owner is super involved. Also, I think he has I think he owns the hotel, the casinos in Lake Charles, right? And I think that's why they've practiced. They've had like some pre-season practices in Lake Charles, training camps in Lake Charles before. So just being involved, understanding like, hey, I want my guys close as possible, but give them a decent experience. Then it trickles down to the head coach, right? And I remember Ime saying, maybe like 2 years ago, he was talking about how they're going to benefit from not like having the need to win right now, just being able to play and play freely. And then they'll eventually learn how to win. So it starts with ownership, but it needs to trickle down into the message. Like it needs to be some kind of synergy between the message from the ownership to the GM, to the coach, down to the players, and not some vertical inverse measuring that the Pelicans kind of have done, because it seems like everybody has a different agenda when it comes to New Orleans. There's no synergy. There's no, hey, we're all on the same on the same page, because what we believe isn't necessarily what they believe, and everybody else is, kind of moving in their own selfish way.
Chad, what about you?
My bad. I think I'm uploading a video right now that'll kind of just show you everything. But I think it's pedigree, man. I think a lot of it's pedigree with the players. Like, for example, Houston got like 2 or 3 really good players that don't even play, or like promising young prospects. Like Reed was out tonight. He got a thumb. Yeah. Like I just want to show this play real quick, right? When I saw this play live, I wanted to go back and like record it, and I was like, I'm gonna wait, because it's crazy to me.
Robinson Earl with the rebound, Alvarado. Hawkins, there's the closeout, the block for Jeff Green.
That happens at least twice a game, every game, right? And in the context, because I had the question of me play.
Robinson Earl with the rebound, Alvarado. Hawkins, there's the closeout, the block for Jeff Green.
It was like, yo, son, first of all, in context, the Pelicans was trying to make a little run there. Like, it was at a point in the game where they wasn't getting stops, but Houston wasn't stopping them neither. Why? What was the point of that? What was the point of that? What you hope to accomplish there, right? But whatever, just fucking whatever. And I think he got blocked again later. I didn't even bother looking for it. But all that to say, it's pedigree, man. The guys, they don't go for high upside players. They just go for guys who kind of like specialty guys, but they aren't like delivering on set specialties. I think even with Dyson Daniels, and Dyson's been doing his thing in Atlanta, but he's still the same person. Like, if you look at with Dyson Daniels, I think he had about 45 games in a row with a block or a deflection, something along those lines. Zion is at 46. So that goes to show you that it's just like, I don't know how. Yeah, context matters. Jalen Johnson was at like 43. or something like that. But it's like these aren't game-changing players necessarily. And when you keep drafting these specialty players because you think you're closer than you actually are, like all we need is another defensive or point. They thought Dice was a point guard. All we need is a point guard. All we need is a center, you know, that knows how to get out of the way. Eves does not know how to get out of the way. In fact, there was an argument on the court last game about that. You can hear AD and Joel saying he's telling Eve he needs to move out of the way. So it's just, I think this is the pedigree with the players they're drafting. They're drafting a lot of like semi-finished products, and these guys just aren't living up to who you think they should be.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Houston's core right now, man, and you know, there was a point to where I feel like, you know, I think like last year I was looking, and it felt like they had a logjam at a few different positions, and you know, you had Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green had really got it going, but Sengun was having a really good year, and it's like, which direction do they go? And then this year, they're having a really good year, and then Amin Thompson just takes off and kind of shows that more than likely, like he's the guy that I think you build around. He's the alpha of sorts. But when you look down the line, that core, man, Sengun, Thompson, Green, Tyree Eason, Jabari Smith, Cam Whitmore. I mean, they have so many dudes, and that's before even talking about Reed Shepherd. So many dudes that have come up through their system. And what's disappointing is that, you know, you watch the Pelicans try to do the same thing with a bunch of different young talent all at once and hoping that it would flourish and bring winning basketball. But there's a big difference in such. Outside of their talent, Ime Udoka is a hell of a coach.
Excellent.
Hell of a coach. They have a plan, and they don't mind as a like when it comes to philosophy 5, they don't mind shifting on a dime. They don't mind saying, okay, well, you know, we don't care about the politics here. Typically, Jalen Green, you would be the one to take the last shot. You will be the one whoever has it going. You know, I mean, you know, Dylan Brooks dropped 27 tonight. You know what I mean? But, you know, how does, you know, Amin Thompson was coming off the bench at different parts of the year, earlier in the year. And then we're watching a couple weeks later, he's taking a game-winning shot in Boston with like 30 plus points. You gotta have you gotta have real control and real accountability and people that are bought in for those kind of changes, but you also gotta like not care about how it looks. It's incredible watching what they're doing.
Yeah. I just think you need a gangster, right? You need somebody that's gonna be like, hey, this is what we doing. Fuck what they doing. This is what we doing. And everybody gonna do this. And if you don't do this, you not playing. Cam Whitmore can score 30 tonight. And I promise you, he might not play the next game. Like, he may not, like, if you're not doing what he feel like you need to be doing, you're not playing. Like, and you need that for young guys. Hell, like, you got people like Fred VanVleet, you know, Dylan Brooks, right? Like, they hold people accountable. You hear stories about Fred VanVleet all the time in Toronto. He might have not been like the alpha dog. He not taking the last shot. I mean, which he did have a lot of game winners in Toronto. But, like, nah, like, he still held the standard. Dylan, although for the antics, like, nah, he not about to just let anything slide. So, I think they've sought out the right people. And Chaz brought this up in his last statement about, like, Pelicans get almost finished products all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go for guys that have high upsides. One, because I think they understand that they cannot raise their talent level, like from a player development standpoint. So it's easier to get a guy that, hey, this is about as good as it gets for him to say, all right, this is who he is. I don't have to improve anything else. I just need him to, you know, hold around Zion. Pause. So
yeah.
So there was my bad. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Chaz. Look, we got about 45 likes in here.
That wasn't even. I'm gonna play this clip, and by the end of this clip, can we get the likes up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for joining us. I know it's Saturday night, but that makes it all right. So let's get the likes up. But so this is really the shot that just fuck my mind up. Right?
To the play, and that's what helped him throw that down. Hawkins leaning three, no. To the box.
What was the point of that shot? If you look,
To the play, and that's what helped him throw that down. Hawkins.
Like it's 8 seconds left. Zion's on the right wing. He look, he don't survey. You take a shot over
to the play, and that's what helped him throw that down. Hawkins.
You take a shot over people calling the most athletic motherfucker in the NBA right now, and Amen Thompson on your right, and in front of you is Jabari, who's like 7 foot. I don't even want to guess the wingspan. It's just Willie Green. What are you teaching these guys? What's happening here? The ball probably never even made its way to the right side of the floor. I didn't even go through the whole possession, but all the action seemed like it was stuck on the left side. Because you really don't got nobody. You got like one person who can like break down the defense and penetrate. I think Jose does it from time to time. He can get to his floater. But yet and still, it's just like certain teams, man, teams that's physically imposing like this with their wingspan, athleticism. This is the Pelicans' kryptonite. Like even with OKC, teams like OKC, Memphis to a degree, that's the Pelicans' kryptonite. Like I think the Pelicans, this same Pelicans team can play Denver, play Boston, play certain teams, and they'll fare much better because they might have a physicality advantage here and there. But against a team that's young, playing with pride, and they coming off a rough little patch. Pride. The Pelicans were their get right team. Like, cause they was taking some L's. So that's why I really think you got to just clear this bench, man. Clear this coaching staff. I don't think the answer's in the building. You have to go seek some outside help and do a self audit if you want to move forward.
And look, I saw this when I first saw this play when you pulled it up, Chad. I was looking at it and I said, you know what? I don't know. Off of it looks like a broken play. 8 seconds left. I don't know if I mind the shot a whole bunch. And then I saw Zion was on the floor, and I'm like, why is Zion not touching the basketball here? Like if you look at if you freeze it,
yeah,
he has space. It's basically him and who's that? JRE in the corner. Zion's gonna have space to get downhill and for sure get a much better shot. But even if he didn't, he's the one that should be deciding where that play goes. And I
think Sabonis's hips would kind of turn. Everyone was facing Hawkins in this situation. That's like those are the things that if you are a coach and you want to hold people accountable, what pisses me off is that I remember Trey Murphy's first few years. Mm-hmm. Willie Green would Christian curse out Trey anytime he would shoot a shot like that. Why would you shoot that? Where is that now? Where is the respect now? Because anyone should know. 8 seconds left. We're resetting to 1 and letting him decide where this goes.
Chad, can you play the clip back one more time? Because I think Sengun's on the floor.
Yeah, Sengun's on
to the play, and that's what helped him throw that down. Hawkins leaning three, no, to the box out.
Alfie Sengun is guarding Zion. Houston, I think number 2 rated defense in the league. Their worst defender is guarding our best player. Maybe. Just give him the ball. Maybe. Like, these are the mismatches you search for. And you got it mistakenly. And you don't even recognize it. That's the true issue. I'm not really tripping on the Hawk shot, like, oh, whatever. The fact that you didn't recognize that Zion was being guarded by Sengun, that's the truth. That's the real problem in all of this, is that you guys don't have an identity. Shout out to Devin. You don't have an identity. You don't know what to do on the court. When you're on the court with Zion, give it the will. Be like Compton. Just give it the what
he's the ultimate advantage creator. Like with all of his flaws and no matter he had moments tonight where he didn't look 100% right, and we know how things can get.
The Raptors I'm sorry, the Raptors just wanted a game-winning shot by Jay Sheed after taking out all of their starters to close the game. They beat the Wizards. Boy, shout out to the Wizards. The Wizards, we got a lot of weird stuff and weird people coming from the DMV. But one thing about them Wizards, boy, them Wizards know how to tank. Shout out to the Wizards.
So now 5 in chat. That means that Toronto should be, I think, 4 to 4.5 games. Or let me see. Hold on. They should be. What
they about
right
5 now.
Yeah. I think they're 5 games ahead of the Pelicans.
Yep.
There should not be a way possible that we should be talking about the Pelicans finishing any better than 4. Shouldn't be possible. But that's another example, man. I mean, like I saw it in the comments here. Someone said that the Raptors just benched their starters. I don't know if it's halftime or fourth quarter. Like no one cared. Why are we running Zion and Trey Murphy into the ground at this point? What are we playing for? We got it now. You guys need to see on film. You saw the strides that Trey took going forward. You've seen what Zion can do in this stretch. Get him to 30, 35 games. Get him to whatever that little area, and then let's move forward. Let's start working towards next year. Let's see who on these on this current roster is worth saving and worth investing in going forward on the next roster that you put out next year. It's over. It's cool. It's over.
The crazy part too, Chris, is this is the second game that the Raptors took everybody out. Because I was just watching that Raptors Orlando game. It was a great game. Second game, a person you never fucking heard of, several guys you never heard of. If this bucket stands, I don't know if they're reviewing it or what. It's just in the game, hitting back-to-back game-winning bucket, major plays. And it's like you giving minutes to certain players on this team on purpose. Like, even if you had a better option, you still would probably be playing these dudes. That's like the craziest thing to me. They just wasted too much time with this experiment, man, and not going out there and trying to get some real talent and real role players. Oh, wait, I think they took the bucket away, Chris.
God damn.
They still 4.5 games.
It's a decent amount. Like you have some room there to not be able to fuck that up. But now's the time, man. I mean, Zion's probably not gonna play tomorrow. I don't know why Reeves is in the G League anymore. Why he was ever in the G League.
My bad. They gave him the bucket, so they did win. NBA.com need to get their shit together, man.
Dog, Zion getting a night off the next day, and he in Houston. Oh, it's about to be crazy.
In the rodeo, they play tomorrow, right? Oh yeah.
The rodeo. I forgot about that, man. Listen, man. I heard there's some nice things to look at the rodeo. I'm just going.
Boy,
I've seen some pictures. Yeah, man. The Pelicans suck. What I'm looking at,
and so the Raptors did lose. Okay, go ahead.
So they did lose. Okay.
This shit is crazy.
They did lose. I mean, I like what else can you salvage from this year? I mean, outside of I can't give you much at this point. CJ playing 28 minutes. It shouldn't happen at this point anymore. It's not like give him as much of a rest as you possibly can. Tomorrow, minutes.
Let's see, man. Chris, you got 2 players, though. You got 2 players and a possible. Everybody else got to be on the table at this point. I would say it's almost like for whatever you can get. I think this is a garage sale, fire sale situation. Like just get what you can get at this point, because I don't really see. That's the disheartening thing about if the only thing you can do is win the lottery, and then you kind of got to start shifting your priorities. You got to win the lottery, and you got to go, get some real deal like talent and a real second unit here. I think Kelly Olynyk went scoreless tonight. Bruce Brown probably would have went scoreless if he played. You got to get some talent.
Problem is with that 5 and here is that you can almost guarantee that I think that I feel confident that they're going to make a move on Willie Green, but David Griffin will still be in office. So even if you were to do an overhaul, you want him to be in charge. Like Five, you mentioned earlier, like you need outside eyes looking and evaluating what you have going on. You need a fresh set of ears and eyes that can really be objective about the failures, the flaws on the roster, and the things that need to happen. It can't happen from with some of the people that are here now, from coaching staff to it's already poison of sorts. I think, it's you can't save that element of it.
Yeah.
This is why, like, we should probably have a show about Griff. I don't know if y'all want to do like a Sunday show or members only, but Griff has leaned into this family persona so much that it's truly clouded his judgment, right? Like, he cannot think objectively about his own talent anymore. Like, he has continued to speak about family and people meaning a lot to the organization when, bro, it's a business. Like yeah, you could feel strongly about people, but still understand that it's business. This is why you don't loan family money, like, because your emotions get too involved, and then you can't make the proper decisions. Same instance, Griff, you're too emotionally involved, and you cannot make the proper decisions necessary to have a standard organization. We are below sea level in all aspects of basketball right now. We are. And that's, I would say, 70% your fault. So you need an overhaul of Griff. Like, he needs to go on, do something else, because right now basketball just isn't your thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you're at a point where, that you don't really have a player that you need Griff's expertise and relationships on selling. Like, if the thing about Griff was always, well, he can get you the best return. It's like, well, I just saw what happened with Brandon. And you can say the fact that Brandon still hasn't played, maybe he did get the best return. I don't know. But it's just like, bro, all the family shit, Griff, at this point, you're the uncle that can't keep his hands to himself. You're that uncle. You're the hug the niece from behind, smell the neck uncle. The where's my hug uncle, Griff. And it comes a point where the family got to excommunicate that person, exiled. You got to go. And truthfully, that's just what it is. Because if you're David Griffin, I'm really thinking, because the Messi, you can't even point to the Messi success anymore. He won one Rookie of the Month. That shit seemed like ages ago. So you can't really point to that, especially when you're finishing like near the bottom of the league in rebounding and defense and things like that. That means I'm gonna give it an incomplete. You got an incomplete with Messi, because he still can grow and develop, of course. But you got an F with Hawkins right now. The Dyson thing didn't work out. The DeJounte trade, you got an F on. It ain't your fault he got hurt, but hey, you in charge. Everything happened on your watch is your fault. So that didn't work out. The Brandon trade didn't work out. You wasn't able to bring over another foundational piece or a bridge piece. It's just you failed in every single aspect of team building, and you're probably, this team's probably several drafts away from being consistently good. And it's daunting to think about, because I don't think this team got several drafts. I think this is I keep saying I think this is about a 2-year window. And I think if you don't go into this offseason to do something crazy, like how the fuck did they pull that trade off? Like DeMarcus Cousins trade like, you could just start planning on where you want to trade Zion. You got to give Trey about another season. He gonna be out of here. Like it's gonna get ugly fast if they don't get it right this offseason.
And that's a really good point about like the failure element of it, Chaz, is that when Griff got to New Orleans, and the way even that he approached the entire situation, which I'm with 5. I do think that a show on Griff would be good as the season winds down. But when you think even his energy, he wanted to change the way the Pelicans were viewed. He wanted to change the respect factor on how the Pelicans were viewed as an organization, as a business. So there were some things that he wanted from ownership to even take the job. And he got some of those things. And, and a lot, some would say he got all the answers to the test and failed. Like some would say that. And from a respect level, I mean, I don't think many people outside of New Orleans look at the Pelicans any different than they did before Anthony Davis. If they do, it's not by a big, a large margin. And I can tell you for sure that people in the city don't look at it that different. People that I talked to over the past week, nobody seems to look at it different. They're just as frustrated as they were before the Pelicans traded Anthony Davis. Just as frustrated, because what you're chasing, 5, is consistency, as Chad said. Some level, a run of consistency, an era. Like that's what you're looking for. Memphis, who came over from Vancouver in 2000 to 2001, they have multiple stretches of an identity, of a run of eras that they can attach their franchise to. When you've been around just around the same period as them, you don't have any of that you can point to. I think the only team, since Charlotte became the Bobcats in 06, 07, somewhere around there. I don't think that they have an era that I can necessarily point to off the top of my head since they were the Bobcats and they rebranded back in the Hornets. But like you've been in the city since 02, man, 03. You're still chasing that. And David Griffin, with your cachet, with your list of accomplishments, with the things that he will tell you about from his time in Phoenix to his time in Cleveland, it was supposed to bring more, and it hasn't. You're still as inconsistent. You're still as unreliable as you were before you took the job. And over anything, 5, to me, that's the biggest failure over this whole thing. For someone who cares about PR and how his team is viewed and the things that are being said and done as much as Griff does.
Griff's idea is, when you talk about PR a little bit, his hiccup has been him being able to control the media, right? Being able to tell certain people certain things for their, don't slam us so hard on X, Y, and Z, being able to push certain narratives. I think that's the thing that Griff sold to ownership. Like, that's not necessarily like his relationships with players. It's more so his relationships with the media and national media. And I think that's what Gale and company wanted, was they didn't want to look bad. We've been talking about this time and time again. Remember there was an incident, I don't know, may have been like a Zion thing, and Gale went to Oklahoma City to have a conversation with the sideline reporter at the time. Like,
I do remember that.
Why would she have done that? Griff must have had said something like, hey, this might be a good time for you to get in front of this. Like, she probably wouldn't have done that prior to Griff. She left an NFL meeting to go to a basketball game in Oklahoma City. This is Griff. This is who he is, right? It's all PR. It's all managing brand. It's all managing all of those aspects. And he's failed, right? He's gotten by a little bit, being able to, put people like, hey, nah, that's his fault. That's his fault. Like, it's never like, hey, it's my fault. Because that's what people in the media don't admit when they're wrong. You ever seen Stephen A admit that he's wrong about something?
It's funny you brought that up. I want to close with that. But I want to say with Gail, it's like, Gail, if I look at what's going on with your NFL team, it's you. It's like you're the fucking problem. Really? Well, you're the common denominator in all of this, right? So it's just a. I think the universal answer is just new ownership. It's just new ownership and totally all these people in over their head. Griffin, realistically, aside from Cleveland, he's never really had much success anywhere. Like, as an executive, even the relationships with the people we had from Cleveland, be it Eric Nelson, that soured.
That was Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Phoenix. Phoenix. That is.
I'm just trying to bring it back. Like,
that's even
expanded a couple decades,
right? And it's like that's soured, and Griff he looks different now. Like, he's not the confident, snarky guy. Like, I remember when he said the comment about LeBron, he immediately got on ESPN the next day and tried to clarify it. And like, he's not the shit talking guy like he used to be. He's all skinny and demure now, look like a fucking blow pop. Man, shout out to Stout Man. 50 said $150 betting on the Pels on FanDuel tonight. Took the 30 points in the fourth quarter. I'll give it to y'all. They were very horrible in the fourth. Did they quit or do they suck that much? Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate you, dog.
Obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties, spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. Spreads her cheeks. This is madness.
Hey, they just think, bro. I saw a little quit. I did see a little quit, but I think they just think, honestly.
Hey, man! Shout out to Stealth, man. Hey, guys, let's get to these star questions and get everybody out of here, man. Y'all get back to enjoying y'all Saturday. We are at 64 games played now. I think as a group, man, we've done for sure over 60 recaps as a group. I think
it was 64. We did like 62.
Yeah, something like that, man. So shout out to all of y'all for pulling up for everyone that we've had here in the comments, man. It's 134 in here for a team that's as bad as this says a lot, man. But more likes need to be on the screen as well.
100 likes at least, man, before we get out of here, man. 100 likes.
CJ the God.
Chaz,
if we had a better coach, we wouldn't be here.
I totally agree. I think you would at least see some progression from some of the younger guys. Even if they were failing at what was happening, you would still see some open looks generated, more attention to detail, more motion in the offense, and just some things solidified. I agree with CJ the God.
CJ the God, appreciate, man, for the $1.99.
Appreciate
Steve
you, brother.
Madden added another 2 pieces. Steve Madden 504. I won't watch another game under Willie. I don't blame you, and I'm hoping that you have 18 games left of not watching Pelicans basketball before that happens.
That still feel like too many. Ain't that a bitch?
It's a lot of games, dog. It's a lot of games.
Jesus.
5, the right coach changes everything. I want to ask, what, like, when we say everything, do you think that let's say last year Pelicans won 49 games? Does the right coach, does Kenny Atkinson get this team to 55 wins?
Man, that's like I'm gonna use. You ever talk to an old married man? You ever talk to an old married man that been around the block? That done seen things, and he always talk about the good woman. He always talk about the good woman. Man, she changed my life. You know what I mean? She the reason why he go to church. She the reason why all the bills paid. She the reason why he good to his kids. Telling you, you just need one. You just need one solid, and that changes everything. I bet a whole bunch of NBA players would probably tell you there was one coach that changed their trajectory on how they got to the NBA.
Shit. Cade became a superstar under, well, I don't call him superstar, a star, all-star under Bickerstaff. And I think it's very telling that there were 3 head coaches in the running for Detroit and Cleveland, right? And kind of Lakers to a lesser degree. But it don't seem like Cleveland or Detroit made the wrong decision. And, you know, one of them coaches ended up in New Orleans, and you see how that's going. That's all I'm going to say. We can go to the next question.
Go.
Well, Chaz, back to you here. Master P for Pelicans VP of basketball. My dog gonna run UNO and the Pelicans. I'm for it.
Well, I'm happy for Master P coming back to the city. Shout out to the lakefront area, you know, privateers. I appreciate it. But I want to ask y'all a question. If y'all was Stephen A. Smith, right? And it don't gotta be, it could be any player. Any player. No, fuck it. Y'all, we all in public space. If a player walks up to you and it being as LeBron didn't seem really demonstrative, but he seemed like he had a lot of bass in his voice. If you were Stephen A. Smith, would you take the route that Stephen A. took today? Like he was, Friday, he was real cool about it. Or would you just act a fool in the situation? Because it's a tough call, right?
Yeah. So look, now I thought about this. I want to hear Five's opinion, and this is a great question because even though we're not Stephen A. Smith,
right?
Either all of us either could be in one of these situations or have come close to one of these situations at some point,
right?
So now the thing is, when you on the floor and you blindsided of sorts, you only got like a few seconds to like he in the middle of the game, they're in a timeout, like I'm about to go right back and play, so you really only got a few seconds to figure out what you're gonna do. To me, it's easy to say watch him, but to me, in that point in period, I'm telling him I'm doing my job. I'm going to do my job. And I will repeat that the same way that he repeating to me about his son. Because we ain't got enough time for me to be like, all right, Brian, let's break this down. Like,
right.
Like you did this in regards to Brian. Here's my thoughts. I'm saying nothing but positive things about you. You ain't got all the time to run that game. So you got to go with one little statement, one sentence, and stick to it. And mine is, Brian, I'm doing my job. Like you doing your job right now?
Right.
I'm doing my job. And let that be that.
Five.
Now, Jazz, you were referring to the response.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like in the moment. See, I don't know Stephen A. Stephen A. is older, man. I don't really know his personality, right? But he comes across like as a confrontational person. I don't know what he was saying back. He could have been telling LeBron, "You can eat a dick." I don't know what he was saying back to LeBron, right? But whatever it was, the following day he seemed a bit docile and like defeated. So I'm asking, do you think he responded well in that situation?
See, one, like I think most people don't realize it's Friday, right? It's probably like the weakest day to make headlines, right? Like, yeah, people wanted to hear what he was gonna say, but either way, it was gonna get stepped on by the weekend. So, no matter what, it wasn't gonna be as good if it was like, say, if this happened on a Sunday night game in crypto, and then Monday morning. I think the response is a little bit more, telling, right? But if you're Stephen A., you're probably looking at it 2 ways. Like, you need to respond, but you can't. You might need Bron. Like you can't kill everything. Like, he had a conversation between you. Hopefully, if you Stephen A., reach out to LeBron to have that conversation offline or maybe in the back. Try to do something like that, where you get more information. You can, hey, listen, guys, I talked to LeBron. You don't have to be more docile at that point. Hey, we talked about it. Woo, woo. He's here. I'm here, and let that be that. I didn't necessarily like his response because I still thought it was bullshit. Because Stephen A. is a confrontational
person.
Yeah, like he is that. Like I've seen him in real life act this way. But he didn't seem that way with Bron. He didn't. And I was like, all right, bro. So I guess
the shit with KD?
Huh?
Remember the shit with KD?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's got on national TV multiple times and say, and say to players that he ain't hard to find. Like look, dog, when a nigga say I ain't hard to find.
Yeah.
that means smoke, bro. It ain't gotta be physical smoke. Well, there ain't nothing we fight, but if I see you, we having a conversation right then and there. So when you say stuff like that, and that to Five's point, that's why I didn't like his response either, because he is so aggressive in his approach in regards to the Kyrie situation, the KD situation, the Zion. Like it's been a bunch of these different examples of such. Because I don't think what he said about Bronny was like I don't necessarily totally disagree with some of the things he said about Bronny. He ain't been really disrespectful to to Brian. I don't disagree with Brian protecting his son. He's a father. He has the right to do that. However, in that moment, and it's fucked up, because was that the day that his extension got announced?
I think it was that day.
So you the face of this you the face of Disney.
Yeah. At this point,
like you over Mickey Mouse damn near now. Like you the face of Disney, they're paying you over $100 million. That got to be in the back of his mind somewhere too. Like I can't, no matter what, I'm like you no matter what. But the next day supposed to be a little different.
It's like Chris, we watch wrestling and shit. I'm sure you're familiar with Jim Cornette. So Jim Cornette be like, "Look, you put your hands on me, motherfucker. I'm gonna see how much money you got." My thing with the whole thing is like, look, man, I felt the same way when Shannon Sharp got into it with the Grizzlies. Everybody needs to stay on their side of the screen, right? I'm on this side of the screen, you on that side of the screen. When those things collide, man, like, look, because now we're in the real world. Man, motherfucker LeBron. Look, Stephen, they got way more to lose than me. LeBron, motherfucker better not walk up with me like that. I don't give a fuck what's going on. I don't give a fuck what's happening. I'm going crazy. First of all, I don't even like what you expect me to say. Your son is a professional player, right? You tweeted. I remember because they was playing the Lakers. I mean the Pelicans were playing. Like LeBron better than a lot of these people, and it's like, okay, whatever, right? But yet and still, you got a platform. I got a platform. Why you feel like you can approach me?
Hey, he caught that boy in the fourth quarter of a close game. That's the craziest part to me. Like he went in, like, oh, I found him. I'll be right back. Matter of fact, he probably didn't even say nothing. He just walked off. Like that's the wild part. And JJ being ex-media now. Hey, let your player
his
go.
His former coworker.
Yeah, dog. Like the dynamics are crazy.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, boy. And look, Steven,
was that Marquise Morris right there?
Who that?
Was that Marquise Morris right there?
Yeah, it was. It was.
He like acting like he wasn't listening. He was trying to
look
forward, but he right there. Like
Stephen A. supposed to do a show with Skip, and that's probably when he'll really get into it. But I ain't gonna lie, that's probably why Stephen A. lasts as long as he had. I'm swinging on LeBron. If for it even get to that point, nah, fuck all that, partner. The fact that you approach me, I just feel disrespected. You standing over me, you probably spitting a little bit, you sweaty. You talk, don't say nothing about my son. Keep my son. Nah, nowhere in hell. Nowhere in hell. Like it gotta go down now. Because what I'm gonna do? Sit and watch the rest of the game? Like, what am I gonna do?
You know what's wild? Lito and Stephen A. probably the same height.
Oh, Stephen A.
Yeah,
height on him. I ain't know that.
You like 6'5", 6'6".
No, hell no.
That's Stephen what I'm saying. Like
Stephen A. No, and you're from New York. You know the people from New York loud and obnoxious.
Yeah.
You're supposed to at least act like Cameron or something. You're supposed to. Bitch, I don't know what the fuck you think. You're supposed to at least do all that. Nah.
My thing is why. That's what's so confusing about all of this. So we gonna wrap up the show after this.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stephen A. has earned, I think, the right at this. Like he's earned his keep not to stand down at this point. Yeah. You ain't gotta tuck your tail, dog. You ain't gotta like hey. Okay, if LeBron he ain't got to, dog.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. Devin kind of talked about this in the comments. That $100 million in the back of your mind.
Yeah, you'll be thinking about that. You'll be thinking about that. But see, that's when you got to find out how much money LeBron got.
You know how much, but still, you ain't got yours yet. You got to make sure that clear before you do anything wild.
Man, I could just, oh boy, I would not have been able to sleep. I'd have been up for days. Fuck that. Appreciate you, Dino 60. Appreciate you, homie, with the 5 E's.
Appreciate you, dog. We are going to end with this and get on out of here. I think this is an interesting point. The Pelicans thought they were going to develop Willie into a good coach. Epic failure.
That probably is what they thought.
But yeah, I'm curious to y'all. What do y'all think developing a coach looks like? What does that look like?
Putting the right people around him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for starters. Like if you didn't have an idea about, how you could improve, his quality of coaching, at least put the right people around them, older veteran coaches, guys that have been around the NBA know way more about basketball, also that have like some kind of thought process about what the future of basketball looks like. That would be the first thing. But this comment actually makes the most sense. I didn't even think about this. The Pelicans actually thought that they were going to develop Willie Green. And so like Griff probably thought like, no, I can give him the answers. Which
I have a young coach, right? Like I who came from 2 winning franchises recently, Golden State and Phoenix. Like there's a bunch of players that at the time had great things to say about him.
Yeah,
seemed to have some really good relationships.
I think that's why they flanked him with head. Well, I think that's why you see a coach like JJ flanked with Nick McMillan. You see Steve Kerr flanked with other guys. I think that's why they brought in D'Antoni kind of predated Willie Green a little bit, but I think that's why you still got D'Antoni extorting them. You bring in a JJ Borrego, you bring in Collins, who was with Willie Green, and you keep Casey Hill for whatever reason. Like, you're just supplementing them with other like more experience. But the fact is, some of these people need to be good. Like, and if he's being too proud to take advice, then it's gonna just expand his shortcomings.
You know what's wild? I didn't even think about this. The next coach the Pelicans get, I want to know how they improved in losses, right? Because everybody goes for the team that they won already. Good. Like, yeah, of course we want our winner, but can we possibly look at a time and period where that team lost and they still were able to get through those times? Because it seems like Willie Green at no point in time, I mean, how many, 10 plus losing streaks has he had? 8 plus losing streaks has he had? Like, I need to find somebody that knows how to get out of those streaks rather than continuing them.
I just thought about Carlo. He punked one of the credential media members. Carlo was like, "Look, don't be talking shit." Like, yo, check this the fuck out. Check this the fuck out, homeboy. On media day, Chris, Carlo had punked one of them boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, where are we as a society?
Are you crazy, Carlo?
Okay. All right, man. Look, for Sunshine, for John Deere, man, DraftKings, Standard Mortgage, all the people that support us here, 4D, Theos, and Scott Vigner, as always, man. Good luck one more time to Coach Napoli, and Lala as well, man. Hope one of y'all come back with some jewelry, man, and have a good time, man. Enjoy the moment. For Chaz, myself, we will see y'all tomorrow here for the Sunday show as always. Appreciate y'all. Until next time.